Today, we're going to meet with Shane Wenzel of Shane Homes, and you're going to hear Shane take us through what that new housing business has looked like through the crisis. Shane Homes has been around for 41 years, and a big cornerstone of one of the companies that has built Calgary to be what it is today. You're going to hear Shane speaking about his concern when we first went into the crisis of people cocooning and not really doing anything, but it was anything but that. They've been very busy. Really, the bigger issue is dealing with a supply chain that's really built to manage about 70% of what the current volume is at. And so you'll hear how they've gone and appeased customer needs and getting people into their homes when they said they would get them into those homes, and just how they've worked around that, which is phenomenal. The other part of it is a real unique way that Shane Homes has gone about providing a digital platform that customers can go into and build the house of their dreams on the lot that they want, and sit there and customize whatever they want on the house and get a price at the end of the day. All of that is managed online right now, and something that's very unique to Shane Homes. Tail end of it, you're going to hear about him talking about being able to endure and just the evolution of Shane Homes through this crisis. Hope you're able to get something out of this, and thanks for watching. Today, we're going to have a conversation with Shane Wenzel, a good friend and somebody that I think we'll all be able to learn from. So Shane, maybe introduce yourself and your business, and just talk about what's happening with Shane Homes at this stage.
Well, that I can do, Rod. My name's Shane Wenzel. I'm president of the Shane Homes group of companies here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And we are a home building land development company who's been around this city for 41 years now, and not going anywhere anytime soon, or at least, until I get too old and I can't do this anymore. Who knows? But yeah, it's been one hell of a fun ride, and we'll just keep clicking along and enjoying every challenge thrown at us.
Shane Homes is named after you, of course.
Yes, it is. I am the namesake of the company.
So that means you're at least 41 years or older.
Well, I'm still 39, Rod.
Yeah, okay, it was foresight. Tell us, your industry is fascinating right now, just what's happened through the crisis we're all living in. And tell us a bit about just how Shane Homes, how your clients or your customers, how have people managed through the pandemic from your perspective?
Well, I think they've managed through it relatively well, because I think we determined, months into it, that the world wasn't coming to an end. I think what my biggest fear was at the time was, how would people react? And fortunately, yeah, I've been wrong for 2 years in a row. I thought for sure people would kind of cocoon and hide at home, and and wait for the ending of the world, but it didn't happen. They came out. They came out, and they were more interested to buy homes from us more than ever. And I think a lot of that was, that people found out that they could actually work from home in certain cases, and some people realized that this would be a good work-life balance for them, Rod. I think that's one of the interesting things that we learned throughout all of this. But managing through it all in the initial 6 months, I would say was really interesting. You had to open up the communication lines with your staff and with your customers, especially who already purchased. They wanted to know that we were a solid company, that they were going to get the home that they put a deposit down for, and we had to reassure them that that was going to happen. But we also had to stay in close contact with them to make sure that their mental state was okay. And not only that, you had to do the same with your staff. So I mean, there was a lot of two-way communication happening for a number of months. Just to keep a check on people, because for the first time ever, we had all been separated by computer screens and cameras and microphones, and this face-to-face interaction was something to be feared.
The conversations that you and your team were having with people that had purchased homes from you that were yet to be built,
Mhm.
What did you find was mentally or emotionally, what were you dealing with there?
You're used to seeing people face to face, and now you're separated by a screen. So there's this fear that I'm going to be lost in the crowd, and that wasn't the case, and we knew that early on. So we discussed it as a management team as to how can we approach this. People are afraid of coming out of their homes right now because of the great unknown. So, we had to draft our own kind of internal COVID policies, not only for our staff, but for our customers as well. And, we were, I guess, on the cusp of, uh, of a pretty boisterous IT plan to fully digitize the process. Now, this was something that was supposed to take place over 4 or 5, maybe 6 years. And we knew immediately that we just had to accelerate it. And it took a lot of hard work and a lot of hours, but we managed to get everything started off the correct way, and we're probably about 80% of the way through it even today. And what that means is that you're able to build and price your house online. You're able to have this two-way communication for people who aren't comfortable coming out of their homes yet. They could still communicate with their salesperson, with people in the office. Hey, we can even do interior design appointments, online as we walk them around the studio and make color selections for them. So it was really accommodating, what their wants and needs were at the time, and that I think was one of the best learning experiences, or at least I get excited by it because people just found a different way to shop.
When you look at the battle that you're in today, what do you think is the biggest kind of evil in for you guys?
Yeah, it's really a lot of the supply chain issues that we're experiencing. Well, really, every industry is experiencing right now, Rod. You have products stuck on ships offshore, uh, and we had talked about it even earlier that the North American housing market is built for about 70% of what capacity we're dealing with right now. And who knew that you come rather out of lockdowns, and people just automatically want to buy. So you have every market in North America firing on all cylinders at the same time, and we're not built to handle that. No one is, because it's never happened before, at least not in my 31 years with the company. But it poses some different challenges because you don't get the labor moving across the country that you normally would, because in certain cases it's very transient. So if one market picks up, this labor just moves from one end to the other and fills the void. Well, we're not getting that. And again, like I mentioned, supply chain issues. Well, if I can't get appliances that typically come out of Asia, uh, it's hard to fill these orders, reasonably and efficiently. We've had to resort to going to local chains, or larger chains rather, to fill some of the orders. And in some cases, we're filling them temporarily. When you can't get glass because the glass manufacturer is in the United States, and they're too busy in that market, you're looking for a lot of alternatives. And I got to give our team here huge kudos for scrambling and still making sure that we're turning over houses.
Is there anything that you're aware of that Shane Holmes has done that maybe your competitors haven't, to really help? Maybe something you've done internally creatively, and it took courage to kind of take a stand on something that you guys are doing that the rest of the market isn't, to help your clients out.
Well, I'm going to go back to that entire digital process, Rod. And that's really to accommodate people with their time and with some of their concerns with getting out in public. Build and price was a large component of that, so they could actually take their home, build it online on a lot in a subdivision, forward that information to our salespeople, and the process has already started. But even being able to do a lot of that digitally was really crucial to in respect to people's time and fears. So that I think is something unique to us. I haven't heard of anybody else doing it just yet. And, I'm happy to be a bit of a pioneer in that regard because, again, as you and I have known each other for years, I'm a bit of a tech junkie, but I'm also a research junkie as well. So this is like candy for me when I get to learn a little bit more about what makes people tick now.
People can actually get to what the price of that home would be once they've built it. Is that
Oh
correct?
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's really cool.
Go online to our website, play around with the tool. Even when you submit it, it's going to go to our digital sales expert, Tyler Porter. And I mean, the whole process has just evolved beyond what even I could have even imagined at the time. Well, I might have even talked about it in tech,
Yeah.
but we're finally to that point. And this kid, he's 23 years old. He's a digital sales and marketing expert, and he lives online. He'll answer that request 24/7.
Right on.
It's just, it's so impressive, the way that, the team has, kind of changed, and, how everybody has really just kind of jumped on board to evolve it.
Are you guys in the office now? Or are you semi in the office? How's it working?
You know what? We've been in the office the whole time.
Oh,
We were considered an essential service here in this province. And, we had certain restrictions that we had to play along with, but again, we got 25,000 square feet here. We have, 92 cubicles, and we have, 37 people that work here at any given point in time. So we spread them out. And, when things got into a serious lockdown, we went with split shifts. So we would have a shift that came in the morning, and they would finish off with a couple hours at home in the afternoon. And then we had the afternoon ones come in who had already been working from home for a couple hours in the morning.
okay.
Biggest challenge was moving that physical paperwork, and that's part of the reason we had to push that digital process so much further.
Yeah.
It again, if there's a positive that comes out of all of this, it forced you to reimagine your business and your processes and how to move it forward again.
Are you guys a better company than you were before the crisis? And if so, how do you see that?
You know what? I think we are because, to me, it just proved that, the kind of talent that we have with our people here is that again, they've been able to scramble and deal with a lot of these issues that they've been faced with over the past year and a half or so. And they've come up with some pretty good solutions. And you don't do that when you don't allow your people to thrive, and you consider them an equal, and look to their knowledge and experience for the answers as well. It's not done by one individual. It's not done by a few. It's done by an entire company. And I think that's one of the things I'm especially happy with is just to see how this team has come together, and they've worked as a cohesive unit, a cohesive team. They buy into the values of the company, and if they do have concerns, I mean, they know that they can even just walk right into my office and express them. So that's been one of the best benefits of all of this is really bringing everybody together.
Good for you guys. The last question I've got is really looking at coming hopefully to the other side of this crisis. What would you like Shane Holmes to be remembered as in the market? You guys have been a big part of that, the growth of Calgary and that community for 41 years, 2 years after you were born. And what would you like your business, your brand to be remembered for?
Well, that's a tough but an easy question. I think the easiest way to describe it is, we endured and we evolved, and I think that's been one of the most fun things about all of this. If you can find fun in any of what's going on there, again, to endure all of this and evolve into something that was even better than what it was even 2 years ago. Taking that step forward. That's what I want to be remembered as.
That's great, Shane. Thank you for taking the time. And it's been great to catch up with you.
Absolutely, Rod. Thanks for having me. Take care.